Let me see. It's a mute. Okay. Here we are again. If you are watching this live, we're going live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and also, of course, in the group. If you're watching this live, uh, great to have you here. This is something that we started, I think a couple of weeks ago. Every Tuesday, 12:15, we're going live. Last couple of times, I had Jess Claire, our head of product with me. Today, she's traveling somewhere, so she's not there. I'm here, and we're going to talk about the scaling service businesses in AI-driven digital economy. This is part two. I think the level of interest and comments we had, on this particular topic, there is a lot that we can talk about. Um, this is part two. There might be part three, who knows. But let's get into some of these elements of how not to die trying to scale the service business, right? I've been talking about the platform business models, the product-based businesses, service-based businesses, and the biggest thing, service-based businesses are at the heart of the economy in Australia and all the Western economies. At the same time, they are harder to scale, right? Because they depend on people. People, depend on people expertise, the skills that people bring. And as you grow the business, as you scale the business, what are you scaling? You are actually also scaling your recruitment and the team size, and the drama that comes with scaling the team, right? We call it human drama. Right? So I think any service businesses, there are a few companies, I think we covered this last time. There are a few companies that actually have done a great job in scaling service businesses, and we can, look at them like, okay, you have big four, your PwC and Deloitte and KPMG and Accenture. Like, these are the service businesses that have gone global. You have so many, and we also had some people ask questions last week about uh, examples of service businesses. You can take accounting, legal services, software development, websites development. This, so massage therapy. So all those, any business that requires skills to create value for customers and for the market. Of course, there are service businesses, right? Where you're not selling stuff, when you're not selling boxes, you're not selling products, right? Physical stuff. Or even digital stuff products. There, that when you're not selling that, then it's a service business, right? So how do you really scale that? Because scaling that has been the biggest challenge that we business owners experience, and that's what we want to talk about. Okay, so let's get into it. One of the key strategy that you can really adopt, and by the way, if you're on this call, we can't see you. We are on I'm live on a multiple platforms. So if you're on the platform, please comment, let us know your name. It'll be amazing if we, so we can see and I can interact with you. Feel free to ask a question while I'm on live. That'd be great. Okay. Um, so one of the first strategy, and we covered this last week, one of the first strategy, and there are three strategies, right, that uh, any service business owner should really look and consider. Number one is your content strategy, right? So do you have a content strategy in the business? Without the content strategy, the awareness of the brand, educating the market, educating the prospective customers in what you do, how you do it, why you do it, all of those aspects becomes much, much, much harder. And the best of the best of the best products and the best of the best of the best services, pretty hard, if you are a secret. Right? So and nowadays, why does content strategy matter, right? Is you got to really create that awareness. You got to create that um, affinity, and educate the market. No matter what business it is, unless you are educating the market, the marketing itself is very educational. It's become very educational, I should say, right? So in other words, gone are the days, marketing used to be where You just go on a newspaper or a radio or a TV and make a whole lot of noise, right? That's not how the marketing works nowadays. The best marketing examples we have seen is, sharing valuable stuff, valuable content with your target market. We're really educating, taking an approach where you educate to the market makes a massive difference, and that's where people really come to know, um, is this something, well, people are learning, people are finding what they're learning valuable, and is this something that, that I can use, apply immediately, in in my business, right? So you're really educating, and the dropping the wisdoms, the pearls of wisdom, so to speak, right? And when you do that, that's and regular content in in your target audience, in the target platform, it's going to be heart of the scale, right? Without that, people just don't know about you, right? And what I'm covering, none of this particular piece is not new, right? I'm not expert at content, uh, we have in our team Jess Claire, my co-founder. She's great at this content stuff, but I know, and you can see the businesses who are really buckled down in content and really creating good, valuable educational stuff, spreading it out makes massive difference. In just, you may not get sales or customers through that, but you will educate the market in what you do, who you are, why you do it. So and it's a lot of people, I know, including myself, I've done this many times, is underestimate the power of the content strategy, or execute, it may not actually have any strategy. There you go, don't have a content strategy, just go and post stuff on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and that's just shooting, randomly shooting in the air, hoping that something will happen. That's called lack of strategy, right? And just doing something, doing some activity does not mean you have a well defined, curated, and crafted content strategy, right? So if there's a process, there is a structure to it. Maybe next week when we are live, Jess is on, we can talk about it, can go deeper into the content strategy piece, right? So that's one critical aspect. The second critical piece of the strategy is what I call platforms, right? So you got to be in a platform game. Now let's talk about it. What do I mean by you got to be in a platform game? The platforms has to be has to be part of your critical growth strategy. So let's talk about this strategy, okay? So what do I mean by platform? So there are two aspects of this, right? The eyeballs, the attention is where it's on social media. So you have your Facebooks, your Instagram, your YouTube, your TikToks, LinkedIn. Of course, many of you might be watching this on LinkedIn, commenting on LinkedIn, right? So you can have that piece on, those are the social platforms, and people watch you. Many of you could be watching this, either the recording or live, and that's choosing the social platforms from, again, spreading your content and your message and doing business. So many businesses are actually doing great in a customer acquisition piece via Instagram or YouTube. How many times we have seen Instagram channels or Facebook pages where, book now, you can book a session or therapy session, massage session. There's a call to action on a Facebook page, there's a call to action on an Instagram account or Instagram post, book now. Recently even Instagram has come up with monetization of your Instagram audience. That's just social platforms helping small medium businesses, especially service or products, in monetizing their content. That's what Instagram's doing nowadays. But really, that's just one piece of the puzzle, and this is really important for people to get. I come across, and it just really boils my blood when I see this, where so many businesses have put their heart, blood, and soul into building their audience on social media platforms, right? Facebook or Instagrams, and then or TikToks for that matter. And then what happens? knowingly or unknowingly, or for some unknown reason, they break some policy that they're not aware of. And then they get banned. Their entire business goes down. They have built their acquisition channel. It's one thing to have an acquisition channel via the platform, but then, the mistake these businesses make is continue to keep invest into the content. I'm executing the content strategy. I'm getting customers from the LinkedIn. I'm getting customers from Instagram. I'm getting customers from the Facebook. It's working, and they change the algorithm. And now what used to work doesn't work. And then so many marketing agencies I see who market themselves as, we have figured out the TikTok algorithm, or we have figured out the Instagram algorithm. And you know what? A lot of that is load of what, right? I'm not gonna say those words here, but uh, there's no one who has figured those things out. There's no one, okay? And how the intricacies of these algorithms work, even you can't have someone from Google or TikTok or Instagram in the organization can speak to how the algorithms work, because largely these algorithms are driven by what? It's driven by data, and they are AI driven. And if you actually get into the intricacies of machine learning and deep learning, algorithms are developing insights and making decisions of prioritizing content, or whatever, on its own, and no one software engineer can explain that, let alone some company outside of this digital giants organization. Okay, so it's a whole lot of rubbish and BS for anyone to claim they've figured out how the algorithms are working. So the name of the game is not to figure out the algorithms of the digital giants like Facebook or Insta or LinkedIn or TikTok. That's not the name of the game. The name of the game, as a part of the platform strategy, is there are two parts. One is acquisition. Your acquisition happens through awareness and relationship and education building via the social platform, for sure. That's where, but how much damage that those platforms have done to the world. Maybe that's a live for some other day. We'll talk about it. But the damage that Facebook or Instagram has done to the world, the polarization that we see, don't let me get started. Is there a value from a business perspective for using the social platforms? Absolutely, no doubt about it. You got to use the social media platforms for acquisition strategy. But the second and a critical part of using platform, social media platform, is once the acquisitions occurred, how do you do the engagement, retention, conversion, and retention? See, that's the critical piece that most service businesses, or let alone any businesses, are missing, right? Is once you have done the build the relationship, once you have built the awareness, you got to transition them to your own ecosystem, your own platform, so to speak, your own brand, where you have power, you have influence, you have decision making ability of how people interact with your business, how people interact with your brand. And and you are de-risking Facebook or Mr. Zuckerberg not blocking your account. um, I think it's really vital, right? And those businesses who bet the entire business, they've mastered the social media acquisition and the whole platform strategy via social media, but they're not investing into anything that they can control, which is their own destiny. Nowadays it is actually possible to have your own platform, that you control the rules of the games, you have access to your audience. And then if Zuckerberg or Facebook decides to shut down your account, at least you're not going to lose your audience, you're not going to lose the relationship that you've built if you transition that audience into your own ecosystem, into your own platform. So the platform strategy has to be two pronged. There's a back of the hand and a front of the hand, right? The front of the hand, the top of the funnel, so to speak, is really where you use the social media platform for relationship building, affinity building, brand awareness, and acquisition purpose. Sure. But once the acquisitions occurred, you transition your people, your customers, your audience. Forget audience buying something from you, but transitioning them to your own ecosystem, your own platform, where you can own the account, you can own the interaction, you can own the data, you can own the sales channel. It's your branded, and now you are distributing content via your own ecosystem, your own brand, and your own app or your own platform, whatever that might be. That's the important and a critical strategy that I think every service business should be adopting, right? So the 2 points: platform strategy, use social media for brand awareness and acquisition for sure. But the moment that has happened, transition audience and customers to your own ecosystem, your own platform for engagement, conversion, retention, and extension of that value, right? That way you're de-risking the core aspects of the business. You can keep scaling it. And if for whatever reason, unknown reason, if the Facebook or whatever decides to shut down the account, it's not a problem. You don't lose the assets you're built. You're not giving away your content for Zuckerberg to make money from. You still have the ownership of your IP. You still have the ownership of your audience, and you've built that direct relationship. So many businesses, who invest so much in social media, audience, a growth channel, they lack this aspect of the strategy of transitioning to their own ecosystem, transitioning to their own platform. The biggest example we have seen, controversial, but Donald Trump, when Twitter shut down his account, he lost relationship with 74 million people, right? Who used to be his Twitter followers. If he had his own platform, and he subsequently built his own platform, but didn't get many people following or talking to him, right? Even if he's on our own ideas. What there is to learn is, if you're a service business, you are executing on a platform strategy, you got to have social media as a channel for brand awareness and acquisition piece for sure, but then always have a strategy and a tools and mechanisms to transition your customers, transition your audience to your own platform, your own ecosystem, where you control the accounts, you have your IP of the content is there. You have a direct relationship with that audience, you have a direct relationship with the customers. That's what's going to make the business more resilient. It's going to help the business scale, and while de-risking the acquisition, the whole of risk of Facebook shut down my accounts. We see that in social media, we see that on newspapers, we see that every day, we hear about it. Those stories, they are horror stories. And I really feel for those entrepreneurs, those businesses who have invested so much into building content, building the audience, and just one day they wake up, they have this notification, your account is suspended, and they go through whatever processes that they go through with no joy, no reasons. It's a faceless environment that they encounter, and then the whole business goes down. So many fashion brands, so many service businesses have gone through this pain. And then they go, well, I did that, and I had 40,000 followers or 40,000 relationships, and people, it didn't work because Facebook shut down my account and my whole business has gone down. So critical thing, as a part of the platform strategy, is transition your audience, transition your customers to your own ecosystem, your own platform. Okay, critical, critical, critical. Now let's talk about strategy number 3, and that is your AI tools, right? So what does the strategy number 3 and AI tools mean or look like? I think the scroller says strategy 2, it's strategy 3. I think it's a mistake somewhere. But really, what does the AI tools look like? It's hard to, and it's time consuming to create content and keep putting things. We actually have a team of 6 or 7 people in our team, with us, someone like Jess leading the whole content piece, not just for us but for our customers. But it takes something. You have to have a strategy, you got to think about it, you got to plan, you got to post, and then you got to pick your platforms. Which one, where are we, where is our audience, where are we mastering, what are we mastering? But then once you've done all that, all of doing all that is time consuming, and then creating the content is time consuming, making it look beautiful, making it sound valuable, all of that takes time. And there is literally, so far, has been not much um, what's the best way to think about it? There's not much solution other than invest time, right? Um, the role that the AI plays is in streamlining those pieces. So AI can actually help in strategy. So something like ChatGPT, you can actually use it for your strategy. You can use it for your content planning, um, but actually also the content production. And a lot of businesses are doing that. What I'm talking about is nothing new. World has gone a little crazy on ChatGPT since last November, December. It's my biggest bugbear that how much of ChatGPT and AI tools are being used in marketing. It's ridiculous, right? And that's all what people think about. AI is like marketing is the most overcrowded, industry. From a segment perspective, when it comes to AI, but there is a reason for it, right? That's how far humans imagination has gone. For service business owners, using AI in strategy, in content planning, content distribution, uh, are going to be critical components, for using AI for content production. uh, when it's used in conjunction with, you have a content strategy, you have a platform strategy, plus you have AI. When all of this works in conjunction, now you actually have a real shot at your acquisitions, your growth, your engagement, um, of the existing clients, and therefore the scale. The next important piece in scaling and the use of AI, what I've covered, all of that makes sense. A lot of marketing companies talk about this, but here's the critical piece. Okay, you ready? Here's where the gold comes in terms of the AI strategy, and that is where you use your digital twin. What do I mean by digital twin? So your AI avatar that looks like you, sounds like you, behaves and talks like you, in any at any time, and is interacting with clients, is interacting with prospects, is interacting with the audience in a way that you interact, even while you are sleeping. See, that's the opportunity of AI driven digital twins. So you got to invest into, and you got to learn the strategies of, okay, how do I create my AI digital twin? I promise you, when you can have you 24/7 working, talking to your audience, sharing your skills, sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, that's game changer. Because one of the biggest friction point in scaling a service business is what? It's your skills acquisition, right? And recruiting skilled people, having them perform to the same level of care that you perform at, is the most challenging and a difficult part of scaling a service business. That part can be solved by AI now. And that's where your digital twin comes into the picture. So how do you create your digital twin, right? How do you really create your digital twin, your digital avatar, that is you, that sounds like you, that speaks like you, that expresses your values, that expresses your knowledge, your wisdom? How do you do that? Those are the critical pieces, right? So uh, how do you do that? Well, number one, you have to learn, you have to have a strategy. I need to have a digital twin in my business, and this digital twin can be your individual digital twin, or this digital twin can be your organizational digital twin, right? But this is like AI avatar that expresses you. There is AI models, large language models like ChatGPT or others that are available, that they are trained in you, your knowledge, your wisdom, your content, right? And then are expressing of your values, your brand, and can build a relationship with your customers the way you can build a relationship with your customers. That's the potential of AI driven digital twins. And how you do that is, you got to create, content. But when you create content, not just for the marketing purpose, right, for the acquisition and social media channels, you got to create content in that expresses your knowledge, that expresses your value, your frequently asked questions, your what is the most important aspect of a service business is your intellectual property. How you do things, how you do what you do, that expresses your IP. I see so many business owners, business coaches, coaching companies, accountants, lawyers, software developers. Oh, that's my IP. That's our methodology. This is our process. This is how we do things. Those recruitment businesses, all this is how we do things. Our network, our relationship, how we do things. It's your intellectual property, and you can't be afraid of expressing your intellectual property and training the large language model AI into your intellectual property. Yes, there is a way to go about it into how you protect your intellectual property. So OpenAI or Google is not taking all your data, but first you got to create that data in a way that can be used to train a large language model. What is that data? So your workbooks. If you are working certain way in your business, you need to uh, you know kind of break it down as a bite-sized pieces. uh, Most complex concepts in your industry, your business, you need to be able to break it down in a way that can be consumed. And the heart is text. Large language models and AI, this commoditization, it's based on text. It's a text based content. So if you don't have a text based content, it is very challenging to train large language models and AI to become like you. So your content creation has to be focused on text based content. Yes, you got to have pictures and all that for social media, but for the purpose of creating your digital twin, you got to have your knowledge, your processes, your wisdom, your experience into workbooks, into bite-sized videos, into how-to videos, podcast, um, you know, documents, your blogs, your social media posts that expresses you. All of that is a valuable data. Okay, you got to get all that data into one platform, and actually invest in training the large language models to become like you. And then it's like pivot. You got to have a you got to pivot and do have a pilot project of, I'm going to create my digital twin, and my digital twin will be trained in how I do what I do with the values and the brand that I am. Okay, you got to create a pilot project, and you learn from the pilot project. ChatGPT, as an example, there are a few other models, Claude 2, Alpacas from MIT, Google Bard. A lot of these models are commoditized. They are easily accessible. You can use those APIs, normal software developer, use those APIs and actually train them, use the platforms to go, what, this is all my data. Remember, the hard part is not the technology. Here's the hard part in creating your digital twin. The hard part is creating meaningful content that is text based content to train the AI models. That's the first piece. Second piece is your mindset. It's your intellectual property that you are investing. You're giving it away to, you're not giving it away. You're going to do it in a way that you are leveraging the AI models, but your intellectual property is still protected, right? You got to take care of those two pieces. Once that is done, that those are the heart of pilot project. You do that pilot project to create a conversational chatbot. Everyone has been interacting with ChatGPT. Everyone talks on WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. Actually, create those kind of messenger or bot tools, but they talk like you. They answer questions like that you would answer, right? That's like your pilot project. Then you can actually take it into a audio video talking head. Again, there are platforms that help you do that. But if you're not change your mindset or if you're not actually curated the data that can train the AI models or chatbots, into your company values, your skills, your experience and wisdom, you're not going to be able to create the digital twin. So and that's the part to focus on in scaling a service business. If any entrepreneur, any business who is actually investing into data curation, to be able to, with a view that I will use this data to create my digital twin. Now you can deploy your digital twin. You're really getting prepared for deploying your digital twin on apps, on social platforms, on chat, on Messenger and WhatsApp and Telegram kind of platforms, on your websites. Now you're really scaling you. And when you can scale you as a service business owner, that's a game changer. You can still, your digital twin in your business will become the top of the funnel strategy, whereas you can really become a premium product. Customers will eventually and always will want to interact with you as a human. There is always going to be an element of human touch, human interaction. But in terms of scaling, if you don't have an AI strategy and a digital twin strategy in a service business, it's going to be very challenging to scale. With the commoditization of the AI, now it's very accessible. So let me summarize, okay? And we'll go into more details again in next session. We'll have a part 3, because there has been a questions asked. But let me summarize before we talk about part 3. There are specific 3 strategies that you as a business can execute if you're a service business. Strategy number 1, your content strategy. Strategy number 2, your platform strategy. Platform has 2 parts to this. Part number 1 is your acquisition via social media, and then your engagement, conversion, retention, and extension of building that relationship via your own ecosystem, your own branded platform, critical. And then the third part of the strategy is building your digital twin. That's how every service business owners can actually scale their business, by being able to, by training AI models into their skills, their knowledge, their experience, their wisdom. And that's where you break away that dependency on people and scaling human drama, right? So those are the 3 key strategies. We'll talk more in detail for the content strategy specifically next session. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining. If you have questions as you watch the recording, right, please put this in the comments and we will respond and we'll tackle those in our next session. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining. Take care and goodbye.